getting it, fellas. Look here.
Stand by.
One for C-Lab, two for Troy Eagle, three for Wolverine to round out the trio. In this episode, everybody dies.
Broadcasting live from inside the power band, this is The Blah. In this episode, everybody dies. I'm your host, the Keverine, along with my super awesome companion, Slab 2 Weeks.
Yo.
Hey, everybody. Hey. Welcome to the show. This week, Ben is gone. He's got something going, a gig.
Not forever.
For the week, yeah, not forever. He's gone for the week, so Chad and I are doing a toof. We decided to stray away from, war and geopolitical espionagery and do something a little bit different. So we're going to do 2011's Moneyball, starring Brad Pitt and a younger, more unknown, what's his face? I'm
Jonah
dead.
Hill. Yeah, I mean, he wasn't unknown. He was still still a
not
chunky
Jonah,
boy in this
dude.
one.
Not Jonah.
Oh, not Jonah. Okay. Oh, you mean Star-Lord.
Hatterberg, yeah. Star-Lord, exactly.
Chris Pratt.
Yeah, Chris Pratt. All right, so I got a Chris Pratt death going on.
And I completely forgot that Philip Seymour Hoffman was in this movie, Death for Me. Like, that was nice to see him.
Dude,
I love him so hard.
I know, he's so good, man. So, at any rate, without further ado, let's
Great intro.
Start the show.
Well,
go ahead,
look,
high level chat.
You and I have randomly spoken about this movie like 175 times.
Yes.
And watching this again, I watched it like 3 months ago. I watched it 2 days ago. Like, I fucking love this goddamn movie.
Oh my God.
I fucking love this movie so fucking hard. I don't know, man. Like, actually, it was kind of interesting to watch it for the show.
Why?
In a good way. Because usually I kind of find it harder, and like I actually end up liking movies less a lot of the time, or I analyze them too much, or it takes the wind out of the sails and I won't want to watch them again for like 10 years.
Yeah. That's been a huge point of contention on this show. Yeah.
So like, I wasn't hesitant because I don't know. It's, we do it for the bit. We're show business, we're in show business. We got to sacrifice, right? So I don't know. I didn't really mind watching this. I was like, oh, well, I love it. Let's do it. It feels outside of the wheelhouse on the surface, but I think when you dig in, it's not at all outside of the wheelhouse. Like, I think this particular movie and the subject matter scratches like 5 different itches. And I can't reach those points on my back because, like, I'm a chubby guy who's not very flexible, and so like it just scratches like multiple spots for me that we'll get into.
Okay,
it's not really
mission
critical for high level. I mean, like, the really obvious ones before watching it again was like, I love the idea of the system being broken through the analytics stuff. I'm a huge fan of like Nate Silver and like the 538 political forecasting stuff, and Nate Silver is really known for his sports modeling stuff. I'm not really a sports ball guy. I've always enjoyed, the end of any season of most American games, but I don't really watch the 207,000 fucking games. Like, ain't nobody got time for that. So like the analytics kind of interesting, edge casey, weird approach to break stuff is like the main attractor. And then it's really put together very well, cast well with a good story. So like all that obvious stuff.
Sure.
And then, I think the thing that I hadn't really paid close attention to is just how it is a very obvious use of the underdog metaphor, but baseball is like, from my experience at least, like the ultimate underdog sport. Like, you're always rooting for the underdog, and so it's like an underdog story in an underdog sport, and it just levels it up, so. I think like those kind of things are where I'm at, and I very much enjoyed watching it again.
Okay. No, that was good. That was really good high level. I like that. Especially the underdog part. I'll start with that. So I had not thought about that in terms of this movie, but I am a very big underdog person. And, like the thing I watch primarily sports wise if it gets a hold of me in a season is ice hockey. And I don't really have a particular team. I mean, the Hartford Whalers left a long time ago, and like I like good hockey. I'll watch almost anything, but I always root for underdogs.
Sure.
And I always root for the teams that have never made it to the finals. You know what I mean? So in that respect, I didn't realize that I think that was connecting with me as well. You know what I mean? And which is a huge component in this film.
And just as a side note, context for the listener, you've played and coached and reffed hockey a lot, so it's a passion for you in general. Outside of the enjoyment
that's good. That's good that you brought that up, because that it's also like, you know, I'm not just like a cursory sport person. I ice skated and played hockey since I was 5. Like Chad said, I coached. I was on the board. I was the head coach of the program in Nantucket when we lived there for 3 or 4 years. So, you know, like I was like super invested in it, man. Like on a really deep level, actually, because I didn't have kids at the time. So I was very, very invested in giving something back to those kids. You know, that's the primary reason why I did it. So it's good. It's good that you mentioned that. To leave the rest for post high level, I love this movie. I don't know why. I'll talk about that after high level. It's just so good. It's become a comfort food movie for me, where like I just watch it and it makes me feel good. It's like a blankie, and the acting is fantastic. It's a based on a true story, and it's a really great execution of that. It's really well done. The music is fantastic. The acting is fantastic. It's one of my favorite things that I've ever seen Brad Pitt in, and he's done a lot of great movies that I love, but like this one I really like a lot, dude. And ditto Jonah Hill, super likable in just about everything that he does, and all these other actors too, man. So like I love this thing. I've seen it so many times, and just jumping beyond high level, to comment on something you said in your high level, like I was a little bit concerned about that, right? So,
about what?
So just to be totally clear, well, about watching movies and then getting,
for the show,
you know, so watching movies for the show and getting fatigued for him. So for this particular watch, I actually didn't watch it. So like I didn't go, okay, it's
taken
Thursday.
Out of context. I love that.
Well, here's the thing. Like, so I didn't do like my usual, like, oh, I have time on Wednesday to watch the movie for this week, or Thursday I have time to watch the movie for this week. What I did was, when you mentioned it, I was already halfway through it, like 2 days prior.
Yeah, okay.
And I was like, I'm not going to pressure myself into like doing some big watch. I said, I don't want to get into like a whole thing in my head where I start disliking this movie. So I was like, when I get around to it, I get around to it. So I had gotten up to the streak, like whenever we talked about it.
Yeah.
And so today, like whenever I got done working, I picked it up from the streak and I just watched it to the end.
Nice.
And then I kind of started it over again, only because I love it and I wanted to see it again.
Yeah, freshen it up a bit.
Exactly. And just to be like super clear to the folks at home, like the listeners, about that particular subject, because I don't know if we were ever clear about that. That is the reason why we stopped doing the ratings of the films. So like, you know, we had a bunch of discussions, and Ben, you know, sort of led the charge on this, and he was finding that he was just like doing the ratings for the movies was really bumming him out, and it was like making him dread watching the movies on a whole nother level. And Chad and I were sort of feeling the same way. I don't think we were quite as far along as he was, but we just decided that like that was what we were going to do. We were going to just stop rating the movies, like whatever it took to, you know, not get into situations where we were dreading these movies that we actually loved. You know what I mean? And I just wanted to kind of clear that up, because I don't know if we were ever really clear about that. There's a lot of things
interesting,
that, you know,
and I think a great opportunity to also say 300 something episodes in that, like, what we originally wanted to do was just have conversations, and there was no rules, no structure, no high level, no nuggets, none of that, and all that stuff developed naturally. And like, it's a form of painting yourself into a corner, and we can unfucking paint ourselves anytime. And I think having a kind of structure is helpful to drive the conversation, but at the same time, like, we just wanted it to be like us talking, and whatever happened
primarily
happened. And it was also not necessarily movies or film. That's just what we are all super interested in. So like,
That's what we
the
landed
ability
on.
to branch out and not get stuck into a corner by painting ourselves into it is also part of it too.
Absolutely. But I think keeping it conversational was a huge,
Yeah.
huge part of the original idea that was presented to, like, I remember when Ben asked me in the beginning, he was like, well, can you do a podcast where, you know, it's just like a conversation with your friends? And I was like, I don't know. Let's try it and see if you can make it work. And, you know, we have since had feedback to that end, you know, so we kind of were like, okay, mission
That feels
accomplished.
like
That's
talking to your
great.
buds. Yeah.
Exactly. But like, I think one of the big things was that we have talked about over the years and encountered is like when you all listening love, you know, these movies and you guys like to listen to us talk about them. And we like these movies too. And, you know, we try to make this sort of conversational thing. And a lot of you have said, you know, hey, we feel like we're sitting there in the conversation with you. And we love that. You know, we really do.
Have conversations.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And everybody that fucking DMs us separately and
Which
tell
is
us
totally
that,
fine.
you know? Yeah. But here's the thing. Like, we were getting to a point where it was like the fact that we had to watch the movie this week on this day for this show was starting to make us dislike and dread watching some of these movies. So it was a really interesting sort of thing that happened along the way that we weren't expecting. And so that's why Chad and I are saying the things that we're saying. And I wanted to just kind of clear that up a little bit, because that's why we ultimately had stopped doing the ratings that we were doing, you know, a couple of years back. And, you know, it was
maybe
just something interesting that we encountered.
To bring
along
it
the way.
back
Go ahead.
for a minute though, like I think I
bring it back.
I think I shared why that's not the case on this one for me. But I think for me, it's like half of the time you think less of or don't want to rewatch a movie as a result of having to analyze it for a conversation. You just naturally will be analytical, even if you try not to be. Half the time, maybe it like is a negative, but other times it's neutral or positive. And in this case, I think it's positive. And there's another one recently that we did, probably, I think it was Hannah that you and I did as a twofer, where we kind of like dove into the film. And I think that's the conversation thing. It's like, you don't really get a chance to maybe think deeply about the stuff sometimes. You know, you're watching a movie and you're like, oh, cool. All right, off to bed. Or, oh, got to do something for tomorrow. Change the fucking laundry and put it in the dryer, whatever. And so like,
or go
ahead.
I was just going to say, or you won't think about it critically until you're around your friends.
Maybe. Yeah.
Having that drink, smoking that joint, doing that line, dropping that acid,
heroin.
shooting that heroin, whatever. I'm kidding. You know, cracking up the meth, like whatever. You know, you're not you're not going to think about it necessarily until you're around your friends doing that, and then it'll, you know, your brain will just get mossy and start popping, dude. You know.
But I ended up thinking more deeply about this on that watch. But the smoking and drinking and crack, we just finished the new Eddie Murphy documentary. I never realized he was like pretty straight edge, dude. Like he actually like didn't drink or do any drugs. He's never done coke or whatever. I didn't know that about him. But he was like talking about like the Rick James anecdotes, and he was on SNL. Yeah. He came back for that hosting of SNL like 20 years later, and he's in the dressing room with like Chappelle telling a story about James Brown, telling him about like the government's going to come and take your money. You need to bury it in your backyard, you know? And he's like telling this anecdote and telling this anecdote. And he's like, and then I realized he was on Angel Dust the whole time he was telling me that story. And it was just like, oh, okay. Well, no wonder it sounded so fucking crazy. That was fucking good, man. But that's I don't know, man. Like, I didn't like sit down and like have a deep thinking cry about this movie. I just paid attention to it in a slightly different way. And I think, like at the highest possible level, like in 11Z style, like I haven't lived in the United States in 15 years, maybe.
Wow.
So I've been here in Australia for like 13-ish. And then I was in Haiti for a bit and whatever. And being separated from the States has its pluses and minuses. And I think probably due directly from my grandfather, baseball still is the American sport. It is like quintessential America.
Yeah, and good place to start. Yeah.
I like the idea of the adapt or die because it's true. for a country, for a person, for a sport, for anything.
Literally anything. Yes.
Yeah. Like there's like, I think I've talked about this before, but like one of the things, the simplest possible frameworks that I learned once about jobs to be done theory, which is a super interesting thing we've talked about on the show, but ultimately it's just visualizing a spiral, like a spring. And the idea is either you're spiraling upwards, aka evolving upwards, even if it's very subtle, or you're spiraling downwards, aka it's getting worse. There's no such thing in the universe as staying still and being flat. There's no such thing in nature anywhere. You're either very subtly going up or very subtly going down. And I think it kind of captures the idea of adapt or die. And if you just fucking coast, you're going down. Like it's people, you know, you're not growing as a person in your personal life. You're not growing in your, you know what I'm driving at. And I think
know exactly what you mean. Yes.
I think this film tells a true story of people that saw a hole and found a way to change a national treasure. And the people that were in that old school thing were really upset about it, but it's just like tough shit, man. You know, it's just the way it is. The things are changing.
Dude, that's the way it goes with everything.
And I remember,
and you know, like Arliss Howard, his character said it the best. You know, he's like the first guy through the wall always gets bloody, dude.
Yeah.
And then the establishment goes batshit crazy.
They go fucking nuts about it. I remember hearing about the Fosbury flop one time, and it might ring a bell for you.
What is that?
So you know it. You just don't know the name for it. And the idea is in like 1968 or some shit, this dude, Dick Fosbury, at the Olympics, jumped over the high jump backwards. And everyone was like, what the fuck did that guy just do? And why the fuck did he do that? And then he broke the world record. And from that moment on, everyone jumped backwards over the high jump. Prior to that, everyone jumped forwards over the high jump.
That's
and so
crazy.
He found a method that was completely different to achieve the goal of jumping high. So he was within the rules. Yeah. And like a lot of times, the powers that be may change the rules back because nobody likes someone doing something different, aka first person through the wall breaks their nose or whatever. But I just love that. You know, it goes back to like Gallifreyan being like, yeah, Earth is not the center. And everyone's like, burn, heathen. You know, it's like, I like the contrarianism, you know, like it's like a part of me loves that. But in this particular case, it's a true story that is an example of breaking an existing system. And it's just fucking tough shit. If you don't like it, you're going to never win again if you don't adopt the methodology, you know?
Yeah, no, I'm glad you brought this topic up because it's really clutch. You know, it's like systems breaking because of new information in order to move forward.
They're meant to be broken.
Exactly. It's an inevitability of
evolution.
Life, man. Not just the human condition. Yeah, exactly. You know, of evolution itself, right? So it's a great, you know, sort of metaphor. I mean, it's not a great metaphor for that. It's really more like that's a great metaphor here in relation to this, you know. And
well, this is a fundamental truth. Like when new information comes in, chances are you should adapt your opinion to the new information. And very, very hard to do for a lot of people, for good or for bad.
Or you're in danger of doing a spiral down as opposed to a spiral up. You know what I mean? So yeah, it's cool. It's cool in that respect for sure. And I really dig that, and I dig stories like that, you know, in situations like that. So this movie, you know, it's like that plus the underdog thing is I'm sure what I gravitated towards, you know, because I mean honestly, like so full disclosure, I talked before about, you know, my experience with playing ice hockey. I played baseball when I was a kid, and I found it incredibly boring. And I find the sport incredibly boring. In fact, I don't like it. I don't like watching it. It's really slow, and that's a sort of an unfortunate side effect of playing ice hockey because it's so fast. Everything after that is in slow motion. And so there's two sports that I really I respect baseball as an American pastime, and I love it. And some of you out there may want to shoot me after what I'm going to say next, but I really don't like American football. I really
that's fair.
I don't like it. I dislike the game. I really dislike the stupid freaking culture that they've painted around it, which is totally untrue. And it paints men in a very terrible way, which I don't like. So that's a whole nother thing. But I don't really care for American football. Now, the reason why I'm saying that is because I love this movie, which is about baseball. And there's another movie about football that I absolutely love as much as I love Moneyball, and that's Friday Night Lights. And I'm talking about the film that Peter Berg did. It's so funny. Everybody saw the series, which was equally good, but like somehow they missed the movie, and the movie was just unbelievable. And so I watch Friday Night Lights a lot, and I watch Moneyball a lot. And I love those two movies despite not really caring for either of those two sports. So just want to get that out of the way because it was a little bit important. And I think the thing here is that, and the thing there is just like, the story of the struggle, certainly in Friday Night Lights and in this too. It's like the story of the struggle, man, and what they're doing and trying to crack this whole thing and see if they can make it work, and it's so fascinating watching these guys apply this math to this game and then like see it start to coalesce into something beyond an idea.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. The way the story is told makes such a huge difference. I feel like there's another like dual lane cul-de-sac here where it's like the dude that wrote fucking Moneyball, Michael Lewis, also wrote The Big Short, and so like
he did
the idea of telling an entertaining story that can educate a broad group of people that maybe don't read nonfiction or whatever, or don't like documentaries and just want to be entertained, like can bring really like some interesting awareness to the table. And I remember a quote from Adam McKay, who we both love, who did The Big Short and fucking Elf and whatever and Vice. Saying that he's like, I wanted to make a movie that's accessible to the public to teach them about what happened in the great financial crisis because they need to know. And it's a very entertaining, quippy, funny movie that teaches everyone enough to be like, wait, what? Why didn't these motherfuckers go to jail? And I think I think that Moneyball is similar, where it's like it tells a underdog story where it's a national pastime. And these guys get to put together a new idea and watch it come to life while their asses are on the line. So like those threads are like common memes in a lot of movies, but it also teaches you about like, what is the important thing? It's getting on base. It's not the individual. It's like changing what it is that you're paying attention to. Like, what is the question? Is the question find the best players? No, the question is get on base. If you get on base, you win. I don't care about how well he fields the ball. And it's like really, really interesting. And it teaches you these concepts, these like probabilistic concepts, reframing what it is you're looking at concepts in an entertaining way. So it's like this extra layer, and that scratches one of the itches for me,
Yeah, you're stripping away like everything about it. Like you're stripping it down to zero and then looking at like what is the most important thing, right? And you can do that with anything. And I do that, sometimes with certain things. Like let's strip away all the, or as I like to say, boil away the water, right? What's left?
Yeah.
What's the primary thing that needs to happen here? You know what I mean?
First
and it's like
stuff.
you're looking for wins. And in order to get wins, you need runs. Like so when they're down when he's down in the garage and he starts breaking the whole thing out, you're just like, I mean, I remember the first time I watched this movie, and I don't know what prompted me to watch this movie because I kind of looked at it and I was like, a baseball Brad Pitt. I was like, this is
fucking
stupid,
baseball. Baseball movie with a Pearl Jam soundtrack. Fuck you.
Yeah, right. Fuck you. So, I was kind of like, I don't know what the impetus was for me to watch it, but by the time we got to the garage in Cleveland and Peter's breaking the whole thing, I was hooked. I was totally hooked. I was like, this is fascinating, man. I think it was even before that when he goes out into the bullpen in the office and he's like, who are you?
What are you?
Like what are we? Yeah. What is who's
well, and he's with his
who hired you?
I think it's when he's with his dudes in the office and he's like, oh, he's got a great face, and the other guy's like, fucking have you seen it? Like, that one's got an ugly girlfriend. He's clearly got confidence. And the guy's like, what? And Brad Pitt's just like, what the Because it's just like, okay. And then Jonah Hill explains it and you're like, okay. And yeah. And even I think the thing for me there is like Jonah Hill in the car park or garage, as you call it in the United States, is talking about it. And even Brad Pitt's like, you're funny, man. And Liz like, I don't know. Like he's got like a curious, but he is still hesitant even after being told something that very much aligns with exactly what he's after. He's still like, I don't know. And has to read the kid's dissertation or whatever the fuck, you know?
Right.
Like it brings you along in a very smooth way. It's easy to get on board. It's very well crafted
and
opening.
It's extremely well crafted because all the parts relate to the other parts and relate to the next part. So it's smoothly flowing from one thing to the next. And there's never any threads that are left hanging where you're like, wait, what? You know, there's none of that.
Yeah.
You know,
jumping around bullshit.
Right. So there's good cohesion, man. And it's, you know, and that, like you said, that makes it very entertaining. I find it to be very entertaining, you know, and all the actors have played the baseball players and all they're fantastic, dude. I mean, you got Sean Penn's ex-wife and
Robin Wright,
death because I can't remember her name. Robin Wright's in it, and you know Seymour Hoffman. You know, like all you know, and Jonah and Pitt, and like there's a lot. Like every single guy at the scouts table in the beginning
Salty
has been in a
them,
million fucking movies, dude. That's like the who's who of like these character actors for the last like 30 years, right? So like you've just got all of these fantastic people that really make this thing, you know, come to life, and it's just great.
Yeah. And then I don't know, maybe like it's a good opportunity to just briefly reinforce how enjoyable the movie is for those reasons. And it's got like really quippy, funny dialogue without being like overly quippy.
Yes.
Like there's just like these little quips that come through where you're just like, that's fun. You know, like you'll get a chuckle or whatever. It's like, there's some funny shit.
It feels real and it feels natural.
It
doesn't feel like it's not
forced
and written.
Yeah. Which sometimes I enjoy over the top quippy, you know, like I like a good quippy Seinfeld or 30 Rock episode, but sometimes like I don't want that level of quiposity. You know what I mean?
Agreed.
Yeah. There's just enough. Like maybe it's like a different way of saying it is like all of these things all are driving the ball forward. No sports pun intended, but like it's lots of things that add up to just like really giving this thing just such great momentum. And when you mentioned that it's not like jumping around, someone, a friend of ours recommended some fucking stupid crime fucking show and it's like German and like, okay, cool, whatever, subtitles. And like, it just jumps around all the time. It's like, this is not fucking Pulp Fiction, dude. Like, can we just tell a fucking story? And when you mentioned it doesn't jump around, I hadn't really thought. I was like, this is like a smooth movie. Like it's a smooth, linear plot. It doesn't need to play stupid fucking games to keep you interested because it's interesting on its own. And I like that
the subject the subject matter is interesting. The chronology's tight and the actors drive it the rest of the way.
Yeah.
You know, and getting guys like Hoffman in roles like that, like it's
dude, he killed that
gold
role.
He was such gold.
A brooding, fucking angry little
dude. He's probably got a total of 15 minutes of screen time, if that.
Yeah, not even.
If that.
And like barely any lines.
You know?
Yeah.
But even like the guy, I can't remember the actor's name. He's really good, and I think he actually was a player either in the minors or the pros. The guy that played David Justice. That was not David Justice, by the way. Stephen Bishop, exactly. Stephen Bishop, ironically enough, was in...
Yeah, he was in the minor leagues or something, I guess. Yeah, I didn't know that.
Yeah, but he was also in my other favorite sports movie, Friday Night Lights.
Battleship? No, he was in your favorite... He was in your favorite board game movie, Battleship? I can't fucking believe they make board game movies. Like, what the fuck?
Oh, God,
I need to watch
funny,
Friday Night Lights again, man. I've definitely seen it a few times. I have zero. I'm like, it's a football movie. That's all I know. I don't even know who's in the fucking movie. Is that the Pacino one?
Friday Night Lights? No, it's Billy Bob Thornton is the coach. You have you got Lucas Black again with Billy Bob, right? They were in Sling Blade together, and he plays the head quarterback, Mike Winchell. That movie is also based on a totally true story, and they're all playing real characters.
Yeah, nice.
And then you've got Garrett Hedlund's in it, and Tim McGraw absolutely almost steals the show. He's so
Sick.
fucking
I
good
gotta
in
check
that.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Totally.
See, I don't know, man. I don't know. I think it's also like,
Yes, he was in Friday Night Lights.
there's a lot of stuff going on here. So like when we were talking earlier about, in the effort of trying to think deeply, or not even trying to, but having these thoughts come up as a result of talking about this shit, the jumping around is Pulp Fiction-y and gimmicky. But another thing that I thought early in your high level was not showing a lot of baseball and showing a lot of Brad Pitt avoiding baseball is very Reservoir Dogs. It's very like the heist is not the focus. Like,
right.
There's not a shit ton of actual baseball here, and that's kind of better.
It's totally fine because it's not the point is not to like show a bunch of baseball. It's to show the shit behind the scenes of the baseball, which is
showing
actually
baseball is an
infinitely
easy way to build the tension, and a lot of people would fall for that trap.
Totally, but like what happens behind the games is the story and is the interesting part, and like seeing not like I find it very interesting. Like, oh well, this is what management is doing and what they did and how they do it. And this is what a day-to-day looks like. And like
putting the players on the field that Pitt wants, and he's just like, fuck you. Right. He's like, fuck you.
Right.
No, fuck you.
And we get to see, we get to see the players when they're not out being superstars, but they're being like traded, and they're sitting in the locker room and they're dancing like idiots and like doing these stupid things and like arguing with the GM like Justice was doing, like I mean,
Yeah. So
I find all that stuff very interesting, man. And again, stellar cast. Made it, it was well acted, and it just. Well,
you've got the other trope.
I hate saying knocked it out of the park.
I know,
really
right?
Did, dude.
But you've got that other kind of buddy cop trope, with Jonah Hill and Brad Pitt. Like they are just a dynamic duo here,
They're so good together.
And Jonah Hill, I really have a lot of time for him in general as an actor, and he him and Wolf of Wall Street, man, holy shit. But he is such an like closed down kind of nervous nerd in the first act, maybe halfway through. And just seeing his character kind of develop a little bit more comfort and confidence in his own methodology. Like when Brad Pitt starts trading people after Hoffman's not putting people out. And he's like, I'm going to get rid of our fucking all-star guy, Pena or whatever his name was. And Jonah Hill's like, no. And he's like, fucking, what are we talking about here, Jonah? Like, do you believe in your shit or not? Like, what do the numbers say? And he's like, well, fucking, go all in here, dude. And like, I like how they're both kind of like backing each other, but also nervous, and it's all blowing up in their faces. And so it's like that classic kind of buddy cop trope layer too, and they just really have good chemistry. Like, I don't know. It's different than Danny Ocean, Ocean's 11, Brad Pitt, Clooney chemistry, like for obvious reasons. But like,
sure.
There's a similar level of chemistry in just a very different way,
And there's a synergy too, that I mean, I don't know if it's quite the same with Clooney, but like there's a really good synergy, I think, between these two actors and these two characters, and like it's really fun to watch. It's part of why I love watching it is watching him and Jonah interact back and forth the whole time, and he kind of teaching Jonah about X while Jonah's teaching him about Y. You know?
But in the room full of scouts, where he's like, and what do we think? And then he'll just like snap his fingers and point to get on base. He's like, no, we don't. It's really fucking funny. But like, it's just bang on. All these scouts are just like, what the fuck? And that one scout, I love that one, like the scout that really gets in Brad Pitt's face. Like that guy is like
the lead, Grady.
Such
Grady's
a salty
the
motherfucker. And I just love to hate him, man. It's just dude, you're done.
But listening to them in that one, like they do a couple rounds together, but in that one meeting, like when he comes in with Pete and he's just like, what's the problem? Nope, that's not the problem. What's the problem? And he goes around and he asks them all, and it's like nobody's seeing it. You know what I mean? But like when he explains it, it's like it's, at least to me, it's so clear. And I gotta say, like, I use that analogy wherever I can because I love it so much. He goes, no, the problem is there are rich teams and there are poor teams, and then there's 50 feet of crap, and then there's us. You know what I mean? And it's a great analogy. And he goes, we cannot compete with those teams, so we have to do something totally different. You know, and like the idea of focusing on the wins and the runs, it just makes so much sense, you know. And Arliss Howard's character says it at the end best. He goes, you and the Yankees both won the same exact amount of games this season, and they paid $1.4 million per win, and you paid $260,000 per win.
Yeah. And like,
That's
you can't
crazy.
argue with that, but that's not the way that a lot of people outside of maybe the C-suite were looking at it. You know, the C-suite wants asses and seats and tickets and shit. So they guaranteed
100%.
they had financial people doing that, you know, per game, cost per win analysis shit. But it wouldn't be in the bullpen, so to speak. And I suppose all we're really talking about is the plot is getting some of that thinking into the bullpen, which
Sure.
I understand the hesitancy. And like, it actually, like, this is another huge fucking diversion, but like, it rhymes with the idea of mechanized refereeing. So like, a lot of sports are being pushed into removing a human referee and having it done via computer, and it's either in or it's out. And like, you could argue both sides of it or whatever.
Sure, absolutely.
And I think this, for me, like, there is a strong argument for like, it takes the heart out of the game. But it is an adapt or die. Like, the times do change, and you do get some fucking quant from Wall Street coming in here and reinventing a sport. And like, hey man, once the cat's out of the bag, like at the end, I think in particular, it's like the Sox go on to win their first series and break the curse of the Bambino, adopting the methodology. That's not to say it's solely the responsibility of the methodology, but like, when a team that has 7 times more money adopts it, they're going to do pretty fucking good. You know what I mean? Like,
I agree. Yeah, I agree. You know, he's like, I don't know. Like, I like it. It's funny. Arliss Howard has such a small part. And for people that don't know, Arliss Howard, he's got a great part. He plays the owner of the Red Sox, and he, I would say, most famously played Cowboy. Yeah, it was Cowboy in Full Metal Jacket. That's where I know him from.
Sure. Yeah.
And I've always loved him as an actor, man. And I always get excited when I see him in a cast. So at any rate, he has a really great small part. And, you know, he talks about that. Like anybody not immediately tearing down and rebuilding using your model is an absolute fool. You know, and he's because he's one of those people that sees like through, you know, it's like you either get it or you don't, man. You know what I mean? Like you know, so it's like you get it.
It's the adapt or die. It's like,
sure.
I had an argument.
Kind of.
Well, it kind of is like, it's like, well, you finish your thought then. I don't want to derail.
Well, now you kind of got me onto something else, but like it's adapt or die for Billy because.
Well, no, he said either everyone adopts us or they're idiots, right? Which, yeah,
right. So as soon as something happens like that, right? Like even though it was a failure, now there's all these people thinking about it, and now things are going to move in that direction. It's inevitable, man. Now, has anything changed since this happened? This took place in 2006. Has anything changed? Yes. The Red Sox finally won the World Series. Great.
But also, I can't find it, and I'll try and find it, maybe post it on socials. But like 10 days ago ish, I read a long form article on Moneyball. You know, in the sport, like it wasn't talking about the movie or the book. It was just like, yo, this is how the sport has changed in the 10 years or whatever, and. It turns out now it's, according to this article, which who fucking knows if it's true, it seemed reasonable. It's like the Moneyball thing is fully in every team, and the like salty scout shit is still a thing. So it's like they've kind of like amalgamated together, like they've combined Voltron style, where it's now there are more tools in the toolkit, which makes total sense. Like, of course, you're not going to throw everything out, but like, why not have another tool in the toolkit? You know, fuck it.
Sure.
And I think,
but I think the adapt or die thing did apply to Billy because Billy was constrained by cash. He was trying to figure out a way, like, how do I get back into the World Series? How do I compete? I only have X amount of money, and it's the lowest amount out of any other team in the league. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, like, for him, it was 100% adapt or die, and he came up with something really cool and different and brilliant. You know, quite frankly, I thought it was
it's broader than adapt or die in the evolutionary sense. It's like, it is the asymmetric benefit to the smaller team, but it's also the like cat's out of the bagness, and like we should change because the situation has changed, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Like when the situation changes, you should adapt to it. It just seems like a very fundamental truth. When it rains, you should get an umbrella. You know what I mean?
Right, but that's the difference between action and reaction and resistance and non-resistance. Meaning that there's always going to be people that are going to resist. Like you've got the people that immediately see it, like the owner of the Red Sox, and he's like, you know, anybody not reworking their setup is a fool. You know what I mean? And then there's all the guys on the radio, for instance, right? The scouts, you know, saying you can't change baseball with a bunch of numbers. You know, it's like it's achieved with fundamental play and blah 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 blah. It's like, you know, and those are the resistors. They're just like, yeah, no, they're dismissive, you know.
Yeah,
and it's like, yeah, at your own peril. So probably what's happening now, to that end, is that you've got, you know, you framed it like, oh, well, now you've got another tool in the toolbox. You can use math and scouts, right? But probably there's some sort of battle going on between the new way
for
and
sure.
the old way.
For the new, and it reminds me, and I never
would be
remember,
my guess.
I never remember the quote, so I just looked it up, and I never remember who said it, but you've definitely heard it. Upton Sinclair. The quote is, "It's difficult to get a man to understand something when his salary depends on his not understanding it."
Yep.
And I think there is fundamentally built into this thing, like whoever's at the peak of any subject or sport or science doesn't want someone to come along and say that their understanding is wrong because this new understanding is right. They'll be like, no, I'm going to cancel you, Galileo. You know, like it happens all the time because you fundamentally would be protective of your territory. And I think people, like, I like to think that I will change my mind when presented with new information. I try really hard to have that be like a core thing for me, but I understand the dynamic of it can be hard to convince someone when their salary depends on it, you know? Like when you really dig into that all the fucking way, it's like, do you have the courage to do the right thing and lose your house and then your wife and kids leave you? Like, do you actually have the courage to do that?
No.
And most of the time,
the answer's
maybe even myself, the answer is no. So like the dynamic is understandable on some levels and infuriating on other levels, you know?
100%.
And that salty scout is meant to, you know, convey that. The fuck you, Billy. You know, like I get where he's coming from, even though, you know, the idea like dinosaurs must die. Like I'm encouraged that that article was saying that it's like the scouts aren't gone. It's just what a scout does has now become all of those things and analytics, you know, like it's another tool, which that I'm totally like, I think that that's smart. It would make no sense for the Red Sox in this movie, in this fictional universe, to fire all the scouts and then hire a bunch of Jonah Hills. Like, it's like, it doesn't make any sense to do that.
Sure. I agree with you.
Yeah.
Like I'm on the side of Billy Bean, you know, obviously, because I love what happens here in the movie. Like, and just watching it all unfold, you know, is just so cool. Dude.
Well, it's like watching a baseball game. You don't know what's going to happen. That's what is entertaining about sport, is that you get closure in 2 hours. You know, like you get.
That's fair. Yeah.
I remember hearing about sport and it was like, why do people even give a fuck about sport? And the analogy was like a farmer has to wait until the end of the year to find out whether their crop is good or not. That farmer can find out whether the game is good or not in 2 hours. It's like you get that hit of like, I know I have certainty on this thing. I don't have certainty on whether I'm going to be able to feed my kids in 3 months because I don't know what the weather's going to be.
Right.
So like it makes sense that closure is the thing that's attractive to us as humans. You know?
Sure.
This is the high level episode.
Yeah, right. I'm sorry. I'm just like, wow, that was some really lofty shit we just talked about. I'm trying to think where to go from here.
I think like part of me doesn't have a lot more to say, believe it or not, because I never shut the fuck up. But another part of me wants to talk about Chris Pratt.
Yeah, let's
cast out a little bit.
Let's bang it around a little bit. Sure, I like that.
I think he is just so fucking good in this, dude. He plays just this like quiet.
He's so affable as a guy.
Yeah.
right? And it comes through in his films. It's kind of like it's like a John Candy effect, right?
It really
he's very
is.
similar to Candy. Is no, sincerely, like he's
Warmth
very
and-
likable.
The scene where he's on the couch, like they come into his house, like that's a great example of quippy too, where it was like the dude, the Brent Jennings, the guy that plays like the coach, the guy that's supposed to develop the first baseman or whatever, and he's sitting there.
Yeah.
And like he's just undercutting Brad Pitt every fucking chance because he doesn't believe it, you know? And it's like, oh, maybe we can train a fan to be a first baseman. It's just like, fuck you, dude. Like,
so
but that scene is just fucking masterful with Chris Pratt, where he's just like, it's that there's a few different moments in the movie where it's like, how are you doing? Oh, I'm great. I'm fucking great. I'm feeling great. Brad Pitt's in the seat with the Indians guy. I'm fucking awesome, dude. I'm doing so good. And it's such bullshit. And Chris Pratt, how's your elbow? Oh, it's good. Yep, it's great. And then having it be like, we want you to play first base, and he's confused. And then it's like, well, here's the contract, and he's still confused. And then when Brad Pitt walks out of the house and he walks over and his wife is just like, oh my God, and gives him a big hug. Like they have obviously been struggling to figure out how they're going to make ends meet for themselves as a family, and his career is over. And like, it's not, there's not even any lines. There's not even a scene with him and his wife being like, thank God that we can pay the mortgage this month. It's just like, just the hug tells you the whole fucking story. And God damn it if it is.
And I love that, dude, because it's like a great example of some actors just dialing some shit in, man, and making 100%. It happen with one teeny little moment.
With no words.
And
it's
exactly, no words, and they're impressing upon you the gravity of the situation and what this means, and so many things in just a few gestures, man, or a
and
gesture.
Even like,
and
fucking high fives to the set dressers, dude. There's like Christmas decorations around the place. It's like, how are we going to afford the presents or whatever? You know what I mean? It's just like, God fucking damn it. It's good storytelling.
It is. It's really good storytelling. I agree. And Chris is just like, again, such an affable guy, right? So like I was not a Parks and Rec, watcher. But as I became a Nick Offerman fan, I went back and I kind of checked out clips of
it's funny
Parks and Rec and just to check out him. But Chris is funny in that. And then obviously Star-Lord kind of like really brought him into the limelight and made him. But he's so affable as Star-Lord, even though he's kind of a doofus.
Yeah, but he's like a lovable lug.
But he's like always lovable. Exactly. Yeah, he's always lovable, man. So, he's great to have in this movie, man. And I remember when I first saw this movie, it was well after Guardians of the Galaxy. So I was like, oh shit, Chris Pratt, like, hey, that's great, and you can see he's not like in Marvel Star-Lord shape in this movie. And there's a great nugget. It says when he auditioned for the role, he was told he was too fat. And so he wanted to lose weight before the role was cast, and he kept checking back in and checking back in and checking back in. And as he got in better shape, he took a picture of himself and sent it to his agent. Boom. That's what got him the role, which I thought was pretty cool. Yeah.
I love it. It sounds, I have no idea about the dude's history other than, scrolling IMDb like every other nerd that does what we do. But I love it when someone goes from comedy into drama and like can bring it. Yeah, he's not a Jim Carrey, he's not a like comedy forward person per se, but like it kind of feels like, you get the random opportunity, you're into acting, and you get an opportunity like Parks and Rec, and you do 6,000 episodes of it, and then it's like you're pigeonholed, and I just love it when someone can unpigeonhole themselves. And
yes,
here he is just like, I don't even know, he's like the vulnerable, lovable guy that brings
the vulnerable, lovable first baseman.
Exactly.
Who's not a first baseman.
Who wouldn't be fucking terrified about going from catcher to first base? I don't even know enough about the sport to know how hard that is, but like that scene when they're sitting at the thing and Brad Pitt's like, how hard could it be? And then that dude, Ron Washington, is just like, it's really fucking hard. You know what I mean? Like, it's just like,
right.
And then like the David Justice character is like, so what are you afraid of? He's like, having a ball hit in my general direction. Ha ha ha. He's like, no, really. It's like, well, good luck with that, dude.
No, that's what I'm afraid of.
Yeah, it's fucking hilarious.
So good.
But like, you really feel for the dude, and he doesn't get put in the game. Hoffman doesn't put him in over and over and over.
and this is a great example of like the way the humor is structured, you know, because that's a great example. You know, like that part where Justice goes in with, and has the cereal and asks Hatterberg that he's just come off the chat with Billy, where Billy's like, dude, let's be real about what we both want here. And he goes,
man.
Great scene, dude. And he's like, I need you to be a leader. Step up and be a leader.
And
you're 30, you know, you're older. You're 37, right? And so on the heels of that, like Hatterberg says that, and then he leaves the room and he's like, well, good luck with that.
But it's perfect. You know? Because like he is funny. Being a leader, and it's like, well, that's a bit bigger than that's a bit big, mate.
Really funny.
It's so funny.
A lot of great, really natural kind of humor in this movie, man. I love it like that. But not to detract from Hatterberg. So
no, and the humor doesn't. It's spice. It's not the focus. This is not a comedy. You know, it's not even a black comedy. Right. But like, I mean, another example maybe is like, what's his name? The brother, Jeremy Giambi.
Yeah.
Being a fucking idiot and like dancing with his pants, you know, and then like Brad Pitt comes in and says, what the fuck are you guys doing? And like throwing chairs and smashing shit. And like even just that kind of has a bit of funny to it, even though it's a very serious kind of like, oh shit moment, you know?
Yeah.
The guy's such a fucking knucklehead and I love it. The Giambi dude.
Yeah. No, he is. I agree. Yeah. But again, like I've said it already 2 or 3 times, like the comedy is like, it's real. It's like, this is how people talk and this is what they would say. It's not like these set up and punchline-y jokes. Yeah, exactly. You know what I mean? That you can see coming a mile away. The humor is in like this sort of the nuance, you know, like, I don't know.
And I feel
it's really good because of that.
I feel for Jeremy Giambi's character here because the guy's like brother's famous and the scenes, like, I just have to say for the record that like, I fucking hate the reporter pushy douchebag media shit in general. Like I'm just so venomous towards that clickbaity shit. And when those reporters are just like, so what's it like having a brother who's better than you? Well, he's got lots of money and you're a poor motherfucker. Like, does it suck sucking so bad? It's just like, fuck you people. You know?
No, that's like the same thing as like the people talking about Candy's weight in those interviews.
Exactly.
It's like, dude, what the fuck you want me to say? Like, why would you bring that up? You know, like,
and they're bringing it up for the clicks, dude. It's not investigative journalism. It's just the fucking most slimy shit. And I am all about investigative journalism, and I am so against the slimy shit. We watched Amanda Knox. You remember that girl that got accused of murder in Italy? There was a documentary about her somewhat recently. And there was this British, I think, tabloid guy who was like, planting the seeds of all of this shit. And like the whole documentary, the guy's smugly like, yeah, we were doing journalism. And the whole time you're like, you are the largest piece of shit on earth. And like, I don't even think he understood how much of a piece of shit he was. He still doesn't understand how much of a piece of shit he is. And the way that they cut it together, like the documentarians weren't being a cunt towards him. And it's like, he came off like such a piece of shit. And it's exactly like this lady, like, get out of my shot, you know, and guy or girl, I don't give a fuck. But like, you're just so like, annoying. Fucking scumbags, dude. Of course Giambi's going to go and get drunk in Vegas because fuck all of y'all. You know, of course Hatterberg's going to be nervous. Of course, like, you know, like they're up in Justice's grill about shit too, getting washed out. Oh, you think you're done?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. That's a cul-de-sac, but like, fuck it. I think the reason I bring it up is because like you were saying that the comedy is conversational and real and not set up punchline. And similarly, like you can understand how a Giambi character acts like a fucking idiot and doesn't care about losing because he already thinks he's a loser because his brother's so good and all of the reporters tell him he's a loser. Like there's so much interesting shit going on, you know? There's so much shit under the surface.
Yeah, no. You're right about that. And it's just so poor, dude. It's just like it totally just tanks your freaking your confidence and your mood and everything, man. You know, like, I would be going to Vegas and smoking weed too if I was that guy. Dude. After all those people just shitting on you all the time.
That's it. Well, it's just the pressure cookerness of it. You know, like I guess like maybe that's another interesting thing about baseball in general is like you either hit the ball or you fucking fail at the plate. You know what I mean? You either catch the ball or you don't. Like there is very little room for middle ground. You know, it's like you either win or you lose. You're either a winner or a loser. You either fucked up or you didn't. You either saved the day or you're a piece of shit. And like that is a very high pressure environment. And I have a lot of sympathy and empathy for it and have no interest in doing it. Like I watched the series at like fucking whatever o'clock in the morning here. I didn't watch all of the games, but I watched the final game. Like we had a family member from Canada here, so they were a big Blue Jays. And I haven't watched the series in a long time. I just don't really follow it. But I watched the final game, dude, and it was like heart fucking breaking, dude. Like the Jays they fucked it up for themselves. Not for lack of trying, but man, they fucking blew it. And it was heartbreaking, dude. Like, fuck me, it was heartbreaking. And like, it's understandable why people love sport when it gets down to the wire, you know? You're not the one at bat. You're watching. You get to find out. But like, you're not the one that's getting peppered by fucking reporters. You're not the one who's at bat trying to not suck, you know?
That's right. Yeah, absolutely.
And when... you know, Hatterberg cranks to come back to Hatterberg when Hatterberg cranks the run in the end to get the 20th game, you know, like you're stoked for the guy.
Isn't it 21?
Whatever it is. Who fucking cares?
Yeah. Sorry.
No, it's okay. You can,
It's like that's like the longest streak ever.
On my part. Like, fuck you. I'm 20. Oh, God.
Fuck you. Well, I mean, it's key because it's like, I think it's like the longest streak ever in any sport. Yeah. Like it's pretty incredible, dude.
But they set it up. They set it up so Hatterberg is the one that does it. You know, it's like he is nervous and nervous and nervous and nervous and nervous and nervous, and then he hits the run. Because the whole fucking point of getting him is he gets on base. Doesn't matter if he can catch a ball.
Yes.
It just cements the idea of getting on base and getting the runs. You know, it's like the system is the thing that chose him, and he got the run. Doesn't matter if he catches the ball. Like it's like so self-reinforced and crafty the way that they tell these stories.
Yeah.
You don't really. It's so obvious that you don't even pay attention to it being a validation of Jonah Hill's method when he hits the home run.
Right.
You know. Like,
Right. Yeah. Yeah. It's crazy, man. Really crazy.
What did you think of I know what you thought of it, but like. The daughter thing, like one of the threads here is him prioritizing his daughter and being close to his daughter seems to be one of the main threads for not taking the $12.5 million offer to go to the Red Sox. That's how much it was, by the way. It doesn't say it in the movie.
Kind of, man. I mean, that's one of those threads. Like
that's a Hollywood thread.
If you had cut her and Sharon out, you know, Robin Wright's character. If you had just cut those threads out, and I would be happy to do a recut of this to see.
Just to see
I
if
think the movie
the vibe,
would play the same. Yeah. I mean,
there's Brad Pitt, you know, it humanizes.
I'm just trying to think. It does. I mean, I know this movie really well, right? So it's like, you know, there's the part where the ex-wife calls and says that she's really proud of him, and like
that's a nice moment.
It's a really great moment, dude. And then there's the part where the girl, you know, is like, Dad, just go to the game, like in the middle of the streak, like towards the end of the streak. She's like, just go to the game. You're not going to jinx it. He's like, nope, not happening, not going, not going to do it.
Yeah.
And then he goes anyway, and they get in trouble.
Yeah, and he's just like, fuck.
That's the Kansas City game.
I love that.
Right?
That's a great. His superstition tension is great.
And then the end with the song is, you know, great.
I mean, the daughter thing, the ex-wife thing.
I still think you could cut it, and it would make the movie would be fine without it.
It would be fine without it. Is it better with it? Yeah, maybe like 0.001, whatever. They did cut, and I didn't know this. They did cut that Billy Beane was remarried at the time.
They did, yes. I read that too.
I didn't know that, and I think as a result of cutting that, it's leaning into the trope of divorcee who's picking up the pieces and doesn't have his shit together yet. It's a very common trope, obviously.
So stupid.
It is, but it's like it just like it's an easy way to have him be more of an underdog, so you're rooting for him more. It's like a cheap way to get you to root for him more.
Sure.
But it is so tropey, and I would agree that it's not needed.
Mm.
And like I guess also like maybe in a gripes of Kev sense, like I like the scene, but the scene with Robin Wright and the new husband in the fancy house with Brad Pitt, and the fact that the new boyfriend is like a fucking wet noodle, and they have that three-way, like, you know, oh, she has a cell phone now, oh, that's a parenting decision, and then the boyfriend's like, well, we can talk about it. He's like, yeah, she and I'll talk about it. Like, go fuck yourself, noodle. Like, it's also tropey against like the new boyfriend's a fucking pussy, but he's rich and like rolls over for Robin Wright's character, and like I think that's like unnecessary and kind of tropey and stupid and very Hollywood.
Yeah. Yes.
So maybe the whole kind of that whole thing I maybe would rework a little bit, but it's all to lead up to Robin Wright saying, wishing him luck, and to lead up to the daughter saying, turn around, and having a caught in the middle song with him. You know, like it's all for that purpose. And I like those things.
I do like those things, and I think they add a lot of color and character and depth to the people in the story, but ultimately they don't drive anything, right? Like he didn't.
Yeah,
like, he didn't really, you know, because he didn't really turn. No, and he doesn't turn the money down in Boston because of the daughter. He turns it down because he wants to do. He's more into the idea of taking the team with less money and making them into something than having like all of these like, you know, resources at his disposal and like this huge paycheck and this whole thing. It essentially would have made him. You know what I mean?
Yeah. They do push it though. Like I agree with you. And she makes him a mix CD where she's like, if you decide to move away, daddy, it's okay. And it's like, well, that's not, you know what I mean? Like, they do push the idea that he is choosing his daughter, which maybe is sappy and also maybe is realistic in the sense that I would also consider moving to the other side of the country very carefully, even if there was a fat paycheck attached to it for the sake of destroying or straining my relationship with my kids. Like, of course,
sure,
anybody would, with a ounce of reality, would weigh those options, but.
In integrity, yeah, sure.
Because, like, I don't know, man. Like, that scene with her in the guitar shop, I actually got, like, a little choked up there, probably because my daughter is just getting out of the, like, little cute phase into the, like, taller cute. And, like, I'm just like, dude, in, like, 10 minutes, she's going to be 16. Like, and I'm going to be freaking out. Like, not in a bad way, but just, like, I don't know. I've got, like, a automatic wallpaper on my phone that just serves photos of my kids, and like recently I've been getting these pictures of my kids when they're like 1 or 2, and I'm like, fucking where did that time go, dude? Like I don't even kind of remember, you know, what it felt like or what they were like, or, you know, and it's just like, I'm sure you know what I'm talking about. It's just 1,000% so crazy, man. And like seeing her sing the guitar and seeing Brad Pitt be so impressed in the sense that like sometimes your kids come out with stuff, or my kids come out with stuff, and I'm like, where did you learn that? And I fucking love you, and holy shit, you're a real human that's not only molded from mom and dad. You're like your own thing. And it's like, wow, this is cool. Really weird and great and horrible and awesome.
Yeah, like, and scary, and you blink and it's happening, and then you blink again and they're 8, and then you blink again and you're like, what the fuck?
What the fuck? Yeah. So I get the family thing here, and there is some kind of lazy tropiness here, but
I mean, but that's all it really is.
Again,
his
character.
No, it really doesn't, and it's not. It's despite the fact that I love the movie and I love Robin Wright Penn and the daughter and all those scenes, they could very easily be just removed, and the movie would be fine without them. No question
often
about
the Billy Bean character changes. You know. It's like often the Billy Bean character is being a bit of a selfish dick, and because of the tropes comes around a little bit in the end. But like throughout, the only change in my mind is like Billy Bean sees there's a problem, doesn't know the solution, meets Peter Brand, Jonah Hill, and buys into it. That's the change for Billy Bean.
Sure.
And then maybe in the box at Fenway, not taking the money reinforces that Billy Bean hasn't changed for the worse. That's really interesting because it's like Billy Bean has integrity and doesn't change, as explained through his coming up and as a player and failing. Like it's explained.
It's
well.
part of why you. Right.
It's part of
why you like him.
Yeah.
Part of why I like the movie because he's so honest. He has a level of self-honesty that's really impressive.
Yeah,
like
he's
a guy that
which only comes through failure.
Right. Exactly that he was not performing up to his ability and level.
Yeah,
and
because they
like,
misinterpreted his ability and level.
Right, and I'm going to be a scout,
broken.
and then he's like, and then I'm going to figure out why this didn't work, why I didn't do well, why people don't do well, that kind of thing.
So I think this might be like so masturbatory and navel gazing, but I think it's true. Where like movies are usually about the main character having a moment of massive change, right? Like almost always. And I think this movie is about baseball having a massive change. It's not about the main character.
I think so
having a
too.
massive change.
Sure.
And maybe
I think you're right.
Maybe one of the reasons why I connect with it is like, my grandfather was mega baseball and he died before the Sox won the series. He was a Sox fan, obviously being from.
Oh boy.
And so like he went his whole life rooting for them all the time and they never did it. And like, it just really crystallized, and I always was aware of his, Frank Sinatra-esque cigar smoking, poker playing, Americana, bowling league, America.
Sure.
World War II vet, America. And I'm not even talking about like the good old days. I'm just saying like it was such a core part of the American soul that, in a way, it's like baseball changing is an allegory for America changing. I would say maybe the better. And it reminds me of Lone Wolf and Cub, very famous manga, which is the actual broader story is about Japan changing and the honor is being replaced by dishonor. Sure. In that particular story.
Sure. So let's
bits and bobs it.
Yeah. That sounds good. What did I like? I already laid out that little story about Chris Pratt auditioning for this movie and how he got it, which was that was a cool little bit. I really like watching the montage. It's not really a montage in the classic sense, but it's like the way they condensed and did the streak. I thought was very, very cool. I really like that a lot.
I actually don't know how much real footage, like. Is there any
they used
real life baseball footage, or did they just do a really fucking good job of recreating it? Because I did see a nug that they redressed the stadium to be 8 different stadiums. Like they couldn't afford to go to.
I saw that too.
So like that's super interesting. But all of the actual like baseball game with a baseball camera watching baseball footage looked to have the cast members playing the baseball as opposed to it being like old Oakland A's footage or whatever. So I think we got some Oakland A's footage of like
in the
crowds
beginning
and shit, probably.
And of the players as well. And I think it was interspersed throughout the movie. I don't think it was like a ton of it.
Yeah.
And a lot of what we just saw was Oakland. I mean, was the actors doing the playing,
Yeah. We spoke in bits and bobs form. We spoke about Hoffman. I don't know, just another shout out to Hoffman. Like his broodiness and his fuckuosity, and then that line where he's like, I'm playing this team so that I can explain it in my
job interviews.
Yes. It's like, oh man.
Yeah.
And then him being like, I love that other scene where like Billy and Peter are sitting watching it come good, and all of the commentators are like, it's definitely Art Howe making the magic happen here. He's responsible for all of the success. And they're like, are you fucking kidding me? And I love that Brad Pitt's like, all I heard was 7-game streak. Like Billy Bean doesn't give a fuck who's getting credit. He just wants to win. So there's a lot there too.
Yeah. That was funny. Yeah,
And just how fucking dumb the commentators look in that environment, where often all you hear is the commentary and not the reality. So getting that reality and the commentators that have their head up their ass and are not actually understanding anything, I just really like that. As a commentator about this movie, I like that commentators are full of shit.
Sure.
Because I'm definitely full of shit.
I thought for a minute this was his last movie, Hoffman, but it wasn't. He did 3 Hunger Games movies and a bunch of other little movies.
Hunger Games.
Yeah, I know.
The Master was directly after. The Master was pretty big time, dude. I've only watched it a couple times.
Yeah.
I didn't realize how late this one was. So he would have probably been full-blown heroin in this. Probably.
Sure. I didn't know that was his thing.
Yeah, that's how he died. Did you do Love Liza? Have you seen that one? Is that Love Liza? That's a fucking good movie, dude.
No.
You should check that one out. It's him
recovering from a Hoffman movie? Okay.
His wife dying or something, and he just spirals down. Like, it's sad, but it's an interesting movie. It's a good movie.
Right on.
So shout out to him.
I don't know. Big shout out to him. I can't understate his awesomeness in that little teeny role. It was just like, he's so present, man. He's just such a great example of an actor that is just so utterly present in what he's doing, man. It's fantastic. So anyway, what else?
I don't know. I think we've covered it all, man. We've covered an awful lot of the scenes. That's it. That's me, dude. That's this movie.
Yeah. I really liked the last thing I'll say in the bits and bobs territory is that I really liked the directly before the streak, they do it's not really a montage because montage doesn't really have any like speaking in it, but like they do this sort of montagey kind of thing where they're explaining to the players how what they're doing translates to what they should do on the field. You know, like saying, actual like if your enemies are making, if your enemies are making mistakes, like just let them. You know, don't steal any more bases. You know, well that's what you pay me for. No. I pay you to get on first, not get thrown out at second. Like don't take risks. We're trying to get runs. Don't take risks. Do I care if it's a ball or a home run? No. I don't. You know, do I care if it's a walk? No, I don't. You know, like all that stuff. Like that was really, really cool watching them explain that.
Yeah, 100%.
Anyway. All right, moving on. NDR. Nuggets, what do you got?
Nothing. I think there's a lot of them. I don't really want to dwell. You brought one about old mate losing weight, Chris Pratt. That's a good one. And then I think having to dress the same stadium 8 different ways. I like that scrappiness.
I thought that was very cool too. Yeah, I thought that was very cool.
I don't know. It's just a masterful film. Like in terms of like shout out to literally every human involved in making this movie because it is just A+ execution and scrappiness and just A+.
It is. And you know, Steven Soderbergh was originally attached to direct this movie, and his idea, like there was a lot of like he was going to have like all like the actual players in the movie playing the parts, like in doing like in a totally different direction. And I'm so glad he didn't end up doing this movie, even though he's a fantastic director. I just think that would have been a disaster. And I really think that this was so beautifully executed, man. This movie was like it really highly regarded too. You know, as a film, like a lot of people really like this movie.
If you took the exact everything about this movie and just swapped out the actors for the baseball players, I think it would have ripped the heart out too, though. Like, it's maybe not the only. The cast is maybe not the only reason that this thing is good, but it is a very important reason.
Yeah.
It obviously would have been very different, anyways. But if you kept everything else the same, it wouldn't have worked.
Definitely.
It's so interesting how every movie basically is just lightning in a bottle with the script version, who gave the last rewrite, who has a scheduling conflict, who doesn't. Like all of the stuff ends up with, you know, Splash being what Splash was, or this being what this was. And all of the other variations are just irrelevant. It's like another alternate universe version of the movie. And I'm just glad we got this one.
Sure. Yeah, no, me too. It's really, really good. Just so well done.
Any other
Deaths.
nugs or deaths? Yeah, deaths.
No,
Two,
no
right?
more nugs, really. 3.
Okay.
I had the Chris Pratt death. Couldn't remember his name. You had
That's
the
pretty good.
Hoffman death.
What was the Hoffman death?
Which was...
Oh, because I forgot he was in the movie. Yep.
Yeah, you forgot he was in the movie, and then I couldn't remember Robin Wright's name. Pathetic. So, those were the deaths. As far as recommendations, I mean, it's no secret. Chad and I are a 1,000% recommend on this movie. It's just that good. If you love sports movies, I don't see how this could not be in your like top 5, 10 sports movies of all time. It's so good. And it's just great as a film, man. I absolutely love watching it. That's it.
Oh, Nuggety Bob.
Nuggety.
The A's won the AL West in 2012 with the lowest payroll in Major League Baseball and a record-setting 54 wins by rookie pitchers. This season has been informally called Moneyball 2 by fans and the press. That's kind of cool.
Wow, that's
So
very
like
cool.
afterwards,
Where,
he sticks
where
around
did you
and
read
mentions-
that?
It's down on the bottom. It's the top spoiler. Nug. I really love that the dude
Spoiler?
didn't leave to go to the Sox.
Sox.
It's just
I
such
know.
a
This
perfect
is-
like integrity play from a like storytelling point of view. If it weren't true, it would
So
be very
good.
Hollywood. But the fact that it is true, it's just like kudos, bro.
Yeah.
I love it, and I
Yeah,
love
yeah.
that it's like I made a decision once in my life for money. I'm not going to do it again. And like even if that's not at all true and very Hollywood version of the decision, it's just icing on the cake, dude.
Yeah. Absolutely, man.
To be able to walk away from $12 million because fuck you. That's why. It's like, all right, that's my kind of guy.
Yeah.
I'm not going to
Well,
walk
look,
away from
I
that.
mean,
I'll take
there's-
the money. Thank you. Bye.
There's things that are more important than that, man.
Yeah,
and that,
totally.
that just beautifully accentuates or exemplifies that.
Oh shit. Another death. Spike Jonze, the director, is the fucking wet noodle boyfriend.
What?
I'll take a death for that. That was Spike fucking Jones.
Wow. Hold on one second.
I'm totally like keeping you on the mile. I'm getting tired. No, we're going to talk about Spike Jonze.
Why is he not listed in the main?
He's down in the bottom
credits?
cameos. He's probably in the all casts section, which is notorious. Because I couldn't place him, but he seemed familiar, and it's
I
because
couldn't
he's a
either,
fucking
but
director. Yeah, he's there. Alan, uncredited. So he's not in the credits.
Interesting.
Anyways,
Okay.
as a cliffhanger, Kevin, I watched Born
Cliffhanger?
3 and Born 4, and I stand firmly,
Oh.
in my opinion,
Of what?
of it takes all of the things that are good in Born and deletes them and focuses only on the bleep bloops, chasey.
Yeah, I would have to agree with you, man. I started watching the second one right after we did that, and I was like, it doesn't have the same heart.
It doesn't. It's like that cut that we watched was so,
It
I don't know, informative. It just was.
was
just
so good.
showed the value of the movie. Yeah.
That cut should be, played in theaters. It's so good.
I didn't realize that I hadn't watched Jason Bourne, the newest one from 2016, and fuck me, I watched it last night. It's just dog shit.
I mean, they have their
it's
place.
so wicked.
They have their place, and they're
Yeah, it's
good
wicked.
because of
It's- It's action espionage
action.
porn. Yeah, it's not.
it's action. Exactly.
it's action.
It's not a. But the first one is
It's
like
not.
it's a
Yeah,
story.
the
It's
first
a
one is
film.
hard,
It's
yeah.
something awesome, man. Yeah, a lot of heart.
And to be fair,
Um,
the rest of them are action porn, and that's fine. And action porn has its place. Sure, that's fair.
Exactly right. All right, so folks, we've got Nuggety Bob coming up next week. Is going to be guesting on the show. We're going to be doing
Axe porn.
So I Married an Axe Murder
Nice.
with Mike Myers and Nancy Travis and Anthony LaPaglia and
It's been a long time. I need to do that. I'm looking forward to that.
yeah, Alan Arkin's in it as well. Great movie. Love it. It's going to be really fun. That was, I believe, suggested by Nuggety Bob.
It was.
So yeah, look forward to that. And then the week after that's going to be Thanksgiving. I think, unless Chad and I, when we get done and we talk about maybe pre-recording a show, we're probably going to take that week off.
Yeah, we'll see. How we do.
I'm sure no surprise to anybody. So yeah, just look for that. Got Nuggety Bob will be next week, and then probably a week off.
We'll let you know.
We'll let you know. But regardless, thanks for joining us for this toof Moneyball. We'll see you next week for Nuggety Bob. Benny will be back, and so I married an axe murderer, and that's it. We love you, long time.
See you later.
And that's going to wrap up this week's episode, folks. If you would like to support this great show, you can do so in a number of ways. You can do so by supporting us directly on Patreon. We are on Patreon/EBD podcast. Additionally, if you would like to check out the show notes for this episode, you can do so in your podcast app of choice or at our website, ebd.fm/episodes/327. We are also, on every podcast service. So go rate us and review us, man. If you like this show, just take a couple minutes and go give us a rating. It'll bump us up, and that'll be great. Also, just tell people to listen to the show. It really helps us out a lot, and we really appreciate it. We really appreciate all the people that have done it for us already. Thank you, and just thanks for listening. We really appreciate it. Additionally, if you want to join us in the conversation on social media, or start the conversation on social media, because it's not much of a conversation because everybody seems to have a habit of just DMing us privately.
And you hate it.
We are on.
Keep DMing us.
None of us like it. Yeah, right. Exactly.
I like it.
We tolerate
Kev doesn't.
We tolerate it, but we don't like it. Yeah.
No one writes back except for me.
Exactly. At EBD Podcast on Instagram. That's it. Thanks for joining us for Moneyball. We'll see you next week for So I Married an Axe Murderer with Nuggety Bob. So long for now, folks.
Beady, beady, beady. Stop into it.